Good afternoon, everyone. Well, you can see what's in front of me. Love it or hate it, it has a massive cult following from the A1 to its current form. So this is the L85A3. As always, any questions, drop them down below. The last time we did one of these, we pretty much couldn't keep up. So if you do have a question, just be patient. We'll throw it up and we'll make sure that your question gets answered as soon as possible. But what is it? Why is it? Who wants it? So this is the L85A3, which is the current sort of most recent incantation of the L85. It's got loads of new features on it to keep the current British Army soldier up to date with the sort of tech of the battlefield, with it being the rail and all that kind of stuff. Mark Prescott on Facebook, there's only one SA80 owners only one thing the SA80 owners, and that's a UGL. Well, yeah, I mean, you could stick a UGL on this. I mean, it's going to get heavy, but it's all down to how you want to play it. So there are some major differences from like the A2 and the A1, which was more my era. I never got a chance to play with the real one of these, but there's a few features on this that I would have preferred, but I'm still not a huge fan, unfortunately. So we'll start at the front and work our way back as always. But yes, if something crops up that you want to know more about, please drop it below. So the first thing is the front end. So it has the standard flash hider on there. There is a 14mm thread under there, but I do believe that it is grub screwed and glued on. So it does take a bit of effort to get that off, but you can stick all your suppressor flash hiders, anything you want on the front. Good to go. A standard metal outer barrel coming into one of the major changes that happened, and that is the front rail. So anyone knows the A1 and the A2, the big green plastic handguard that was on the front that you could flip over and get to your gas port and everything, has now been changed with a bronze key mod style rail. So Emma Davis on Facebook, why have they used so many shades of colour? Good question. Not too sure. I think what mainly the differences are is the front end is CNC'd aluminium and powder coated, and the rest is stamped steel and painted. The green parts are probably still green because there's no point in making new parts for that. They'll just recycle the old parts and make better use of them. But it's a difference of powder coating and paint on two different materials. And again, with the pistol grips, that's probably a recycle feature as well. I believe that the front as well, they will have anodized or powder coated the front, because this is going to experience more heat from the barrel and the gas plug and everything, whereas back here is moving parts. So this is more for heat protection, and back here is for the rigmarole of the trigger group and everything like that. So there is a little bit of science behind it, but with it being airsoft, it's just copying its real steel counterpart. So the rail itself, you do have 20mm rail along the front and a flip-up iron sight on the front. That it's just indented, so you can just flip it up and down as you see fit. So you got 20mm on the top, 20mm on the bottom, and then you've got plenty of real estate in the key mod style. Obviously, key mod because it looks like keyholes, and all you do is slip a bit of rail in and tighten it up. Sam on YouTube, does it come with all the bits on it? Yes and no. So out the box, the L85 itself comes with 2 magazines and the rifle itself. The optic and the bipod are available separately, but you can get this in a full bundle with money off as well, a bit of a discount. But so you can buy this as a bundle, that's totally fine. But if you were just to buy the L85 on its own, it is just the rifle, 2 magazines, and the big case that comes with it that's a little bit heavy. The optic itself does come with its own case as well, so if you want to keep it safe and protected, that's fine. The big green case that the rifle comes with does have cutouts for the optic, so if you are running this as a setup and you want to swap it around, there is space in there to keep it all safe. So Fps Airsoft on YouTube, what is the trigger response like? Because this is the Aries model, it does have the EFCS gearbox in it, which means, if you can hear that, it does have the electronic microswitch trigger, meaning that the power delivery from the motor to the gearbox is extremely fast. And this is one of the very, very rare products that is not recommended, but is rated for 11.1. I put a 8.4 in this just to chrono it and test it just before going live, and it's doing about 340 FPS at about 16 rounds a second, and the trigger response is actually very intuitive. As soon as that switch goes, a BB is out the barrel. Really, really good. On top of that, the blowback that is in this doesn't really have too much of a detrimental effect on the gearbox or the rate of fire and everything. So the bolt does reciprocate backwards and forwards and can lock back using the bolt stop here. So this is the bolt stop. It's not normally the bolt release. So pressing that slides it forward. On the real version, the actual button is on this side, but on here it is just a visual feature. Peter on Facebook, damn, that looks sexy. Again, it's a bit of a Marmite gum. Some people absolutely love this thing, and it has an absolute cult following. Unfortunately, I don't share that vision, but I can understand why people are preferring this one to the older ones, the old green plastic and things like that. This does look a little bit better. Finn on YouTube, what's the difference between the A3 and the older version, the A2? So mainly there's the rail, the colour, and a few different versions of it. So the way back in the A1 days, you had the green handguard, a dovetail rail, and standard sort of circular bolt back here. The problem with that is the shell casings were coming out, hitting the bolt, and coming back into the breech, causing stoppages. There were problems with the gas system at the front and everything like that. So into the A2 era, they changed to this slope style charging handle. They put a new coating and everything on the gas system to make that a bit more reliable. And then coming into the A3, they've just completely revamped it into a whole new beast with the rail on the front to keep up to date with modern accessories and everything, features, optics. So they've gone away with the dovetail. So everyone that remembers the SUSAT and the carry handle, you had to flip your the cover open on the front, slide it back on, mount it in place, and that was it, done and dusted. Now with the current day sight that they're using here, it is the two levers there. You can open them and move it around freely, much more. It's just much better for the operator just being able to move it backwards and forwards and get it exactly where they want. You were very, very limited with the SUSAT on the dovetail. There was only a couple of mounting points. Now you have a full rail section that gives you much more versatility where the day sight can be fitted. William on Facebook, I have an A1, need an A3. Well, if you have either the WE or the G&G, we do have conversion kits. So rather than having to get a whole new setup like this, there is a conversion kit done by Angry Gun that allows you to get the rail, the top rail, and some bits. Obviously, you won't be able to change the physical colour of the body, but it does mean that you can update your current one to look a little bit more like this really easily. Emma Davies, looks heavy. Where are the sling attachments? Good point. So standard sling attachment on all of them going back to the A1. There's a sling point at the back here that you can actually push and move to whichever side you need it on. And inside the box, you have a key mod rail attachment there that goes, it's a little rail section that has a QD point, so you can put a rail, you can put a sling attachment at any point on the rail that you need it. So it is inherently a 2-point sling system, like the way back in the A1 days. Has always been a 2-point sling system, and they've kept that with this as well. So Peter on Facebook, do you know if ICS are making an A3? Currently, I don't know, and if I had the choice or was forced to have a choice, I do believe that the Ares one with the electronic trigger, it's just a better system internally. The EFCS gearbox is really, really good. It's 11.1 rated. There's no bars or anything sort of making the trigger really spongy. It's just, this is a bit of a better system, really, I believe. So William again on Facebook. Would you be able to two-tone if I buy without you car? Yes, absolutely. These are available two-tone. If you go hit the drop-down menu, it will give you a representation of what parts would get painted, so you got an idea of what it's going to come like when it looks. And that includes the bundle if you want in the optic and the grip as well. That's totally possible to have two-toned as well. So a couple more features on it. We've got another question, FS on YouTube. How easy is the trigger to replace if you break it? I don't think you're going to break the trigger on this, but if you were wanting to get inside this thing, they are quite easy. They're quite intuitive. Again, if you're not tech-minded, we always recommend get someone professionally to do it, but I can't see it being very difficult at all. Because there is actually a feature on this that they advertise for going into the back end of this. So this is doing about 340 out the box, and there is a adjustable FPS system in here. So you take the butt plate off, knock the pin out, and you can get into the back of the FPS gearbox, do a slight tweak and turn, and I think you'll get a plus or minus couple of FPS to sort that out. Just meaning that if you do need to drop down to like that 328 mark, that's totally fine. So if you're needing to do that, it's quite easy to do. Other parts on this, so the flip-up iron sights that I've mentioned do come with it. The rear one flips up, flips down, but what's really good about the rear one is it is quick detachable. So it's got the QD system in here that's really good. Shalim Shady on YouTube, is it gas or electric? This is 100% electric, but it does have a mock recoil system, so it's not a weight or anything that throws back like a gas or anything like that. It is literally a pneumatic system, so as you're firing this, a little bit of air is pushed up and this simply moves. You're not really going to feel it in your shoulder or anything like that. It just adds to the effective gameplay. It does have fire control systems as well, so a little bit of ambidextrous style. Oh, Peter on Facebook, does the A3 have the adjustable spring like the ICS? Yes, so just mentioned that with the butt plate. You take the butt plate out and you can adjust it and get a slight variance in your FPS at the back, definitely. So controls, you've got the safety at the front here. It is quite intuitive where the safety is. I do kind of like where that sits because it is where your trigger finger is. Coming back, you've got the mag release. William, this doesn't look cheap. If you check it out on the website, you'll see exactly how much it is. But when you're adding up the sight and the grip, it does come together as a sort of a one-off build really nicely. Fire selector as well. Trey on Facebook, what mags will work with this? Any standard M4 AEG style mags will fit in this. So it does come with the mid caps. So these are 130 round mid caps, and it does come with two. But if you have any other style M4 mags, they will drop straight in there. P mags. You could throw a drum mag in this if you wanted. Beta mags, metal stanags, all that kind of stuff. You could throw a big Ares Mega Mag 700 round thing in this, and it will feed and function exactly the same as with the mags that are with it. So quite difficult to see, but on the other side here, you have the fire control system, which has the safe and auto system on it. Sorry, semi and auto. So up is semi, down is full auto, and then your safety is the little black button at the front here. So when you are holding this, pressing it across, so you can index it. If you can feel that button there, you know it's in safe. You can then click it, and you can come down and get on trigger nice and easily. Black Spartan on YouTube. I can't wait until I get my G&G CM16 tongue twister from you guys. Excellent. Can't wait till you get it. If you enjoy it, they are great platforms. I know loads of people that absolutely love theirs. Another quick feature, I have left it dangling a little bit just so it's easy to get out, but the port on the bottom of the pistol grip is where your battery goes. So there's no more taking the front or back, having to undo screws or anything like that. It is a nice little cap that comes off, and this battery compartment, a lot of people think that it's really short. It actually reaches all the way into the body, so you do have a massive amount of battery space in this as well, meaning that you'll be able to play all day if you needed. A quick one on the grip that comes with it. So the legs do spring away, and there is a button at the back, means it comes out. This is not really designed as a bipod. It was never meant to be a bipod. It is literally something to stand the platform up on. People were never trained to use this as a bipod because they are literally just little plastic legs. The recoil of the original weapon would have just snapped these off. So it is just a stand. It is a foregrip, not a bipod. It's just purely there to stand it up, and you're not laying your platform down in the mud. Callum on Facebook, does this come with a bundle package with the optic, or are they sold individually? Both. So the L85, the optic and the grip can all be bought individually if needed, but if you want this as a whole package, that is available as well. It comes, the L85 comes in the big green case that I showed earlier. I'll quickly show it again. So it is massive, so you're not having to buy a case or anything. It comes with that. It comes with 2 mags, and the optic itself comes with its own little hard case as well, if you bought it individually. As a package, if you're wanting to keep it all safe and together, it's sort of almost molded inside the green case. So the spaces for mags, the space for the optic, the space for the grip and everything like that they've thought of it all together. So you can store all this in one place really, really easily. We've covered an absolute ton there, but I'll do a quick overview from front to back, just in case I missed anything. So as I was saying before, 40mm counterclockwise thread on the front. The flash hider is grub screwed and probably glued in place, so it can be difficult to get off. Black Spartan on YouTube. Took a look. I'm going to save up for this, lol. Yeah, I mean, it does cost a chunk, but if this is what you're after, it is the most accurate you can currently get. If you do have an older version, there are the conversion kits for G&G and WE available. They have the rail and the top part and all the different bits, allowing you to turn your old one into this. The colour might be slightly different on the body because you're not changing that, but it just means that you're not having to sludge out or load, and you can get something similar. Finn on YouTube again. What would you recommend to get, this or the A2? It completely depends which one you think looks nicest. Again, the Airsoft is mainly about looks. Performance to me comes very much second, but if this floats your boat, go for this one. The A2 is purely the previous model, and it all goes down to either which you like the look of or which loadout you're trying to achieve. So if you're trying to achieve a more modern loadout, then go for this one. If you're trying to go for maybe an early noughties loadout or a 90s loadout, then go for the A1 or the A2. They'll all perform the same. You've still got a gearbox throwing a BB down a brass barrel, so at the end of the day, it's nice and easy to choose. Is the flash hider the same as the real steel, so the bayonet would fit like the ICS one does? I actually don't know. I do believe it is based on the real one. I don't know if the Airsoft bayonet would fit, though. I'll try and find your comment, and if we do have a look afterwards, and if I can find an answer, I'll reply to your comment on the video, just so we can get some information out to you. But that's a good question. That I've not actually looked yet. So quickly over the features. So we've got a CNC'd powder-coated aluminium handguard with rail on the top, rail on the bottom, key mod either side. There is a sling point inside the box that allows you to attach a sling point to the key mod, meaning that you can sling this front and back using the bit here and the bit at the front. The main change that they made to the top of the receiver, so as you can see there are 2 arms on the optic here, meaning that you can mount it straight to a new 20mm rail rather than the old dovetail system that they used to have on here. Coming down, it is an electronic trigger. So very intuitive, very fast trigger response, and really good power being sent to sent from the motor to the gearbox. Your safety is just above the trigger. So whilst you're holding this, if you can feel the button there, it means you're on safe. It means you press that and then come to the trigger. It can be quite intuitive and a good bit. Mag release is just above the mag on the left-hand side. Same with the fire selector. Up is semi, down is full auto. The rear iron sight flips up, same as the front one. They're both indented, but the rear one is quick detached, so you just pull the piece back and you can throw it on quite easily, on and off. This does have a mock recoil system, so it's not a big heavyweight throwing back like the KWA or the MWS, like a gas weapon or an electric recoil system. It is just a mock bolt movement, so a little bit of air. It's like a pneumatic system that just shakes this, throws it backwards and forwards, and just gives a bit more feel to your gameplay. When this comes back, you can use the bolt hold open system here. This isn't the bolt stop system on the real version. The bolt release is normally found on the left hand side, but on here it is just a piece of metal that they've put to represent where it was. It's not actually a physical button, so you still have to use this one and knock it forward, and then you can put the dust cover up and carry on as normal. 130 round mid caps. It does come with 2, so makes it really easy and ready to go, a little bit more out of the box, ready to play. The butt stop at the back can be removed, and that allows you to access the back of the gearbox and adjust the spring tension very, very slightly. This thing was doing 340-ish on the chrono just before testing at around 16 rounds a second on an 8.4, but you can adjust it. This is probably set up at the high end, but you can probably adjust it maybe 10-15% down, making it much more playable. IMC on YouTube. The optic costs a third of the gun price. What's so special about it? They have tried to make this as accurate to the real thing as possible. All the mil dots, all the graticules inside are correct, and it does have a almost a faux NV system in there. It doesn't have IR dots, but the low end has been made to be extremely dim, so that if you are running NV or anything like that, it is functional. It has all the elevation, windage, everything like that, but this is a very, very, very high-end optic for what it is. The glass is crystal clear, the magnification's really good, and out of everything that's in front of me, this is my favourite bit. As an optic on its own, this would be really, really good. Even if you're running M4, standard platform, don't feel that these optics are locked to this. If you're looking for a really, really good magnified optic, this thing is actually very, very, very good. It does have threads on the front, so if you're wanting to put a kill flash on it as well, that's an option, but you've got loads of illumination options, and you've got a really intuitive windage and elevation adjustment as well. The crosshair inside is the triangle graticule one, so you've got all the way up to like 400 and 800 meter sort of mil dots and adjustments. Obviously that's not really appropriate in airsoft, but it just adds to that sort of realness of it, and it just means that you can aim off a bit better. So what else have I got to cover? Just the battery compartment again, the ones that have just joined us. Battery compartment, so no more taking the butt plate or the rail off. You can take the bottom cap off. Oh, we've got Speedsoft Joe. Is there a high cap mag for it? Yes, any M4 high cap will drop straight into this and run perfectly fine. It does come with mid caps, comes with 230 round mid caps, but if you're wanting to run high caps, they'll drop straight in. So any standard M4 high cap will fit. Callum on Facebook, is it a 19 or a 20mm rail on top? I know some were different depending on the brands. So because this is the A3, this is the 20mm rail, so the standard, what you'll find on M4s, what you'll find on standard AEGs or anything like that. The 19mm was the old dovetail style system, so if I went to put this optic on an A2 or an A1, once you put it on, it'd be very, very loose. What you do have with these, you do have a little bit of adjustment. So you can see this is nice and tight on here. If you take these arms open, if you open these arms, sorry, there is an adjustment screw on there. So when you clamp this on, you can do what's called the wobble test. If there's a little bit of wobble, undo it, tighten that screw up, and it comes back on. But this has a 20mm rail compared to the older 19mm dovetail style rails, meaning that again this will fit on this and many other platforms, whereas the SUSAT and the carry handle that used to go on the A1s and the A2s are sort of proprietary to the L85 platform. But any final questions, quickly throw them up and we'll wrap up as quickly as we can. There is just as any more questions come in, we will show you one other thing that's landed with us recently. So if you all remember the, I'll leave that there so people can ogle it. Everyone remembers the SIU video that we did recently. So some more SIU bits have arrived with us, including armor and a big spaceman helmet. So this thing is, it's impressive to say this is entirely 3D printed, apart from the lens, obviously, but I mean, look at it. If you're wanting to go for that sci-fi Gucci loadout and you're wanting something completely different out there, this is where it's at. Don't worry, the lens is tested and is properly rated for airsoft and is really, really cool. You've got NV mount at the top and elastics to hold it in. You do have a cooling fan system inside here as well. There's cables coming out the back to power that. You've got head strap adjustment at the back, chin strap, and even at the front, they've even thought that this, Emma Davis, I want that helmet. So what you have as well, there's a little button here that when you press that, it comes up. What they've even thought of is when this is down, just to protect it, you have to physically pull down with this button, so this button can't be hit by a BB and cause this to unfortunately open. And the spring inside there is exceptionally strong as well. So yes, you have a comms setup in here, headphones left and right. So you've got 2 USB ports in here. If you want to start playing music and everything, you can do that. Does it fit a massive head like me? I've got a massive head, I can tell you now, and this thing definitely fits me. So if any standard airsoft helmet fits you, this will fit you as well. It does have to be twisted on, but because it's got the adjuster at the back, this will fit you. All inside, all the foam padding is the same as a standard airsoft helmet. There's just all sorts of 3D printed armour all over it, making it look super cool. So all the armour is fit on using the arc rails. The style of lens that they've put on there is it's designed to sort of, once you've got it on, everything's going to turn slightly red a little bit. Once your eyes adjust, it just means that you're going to be able to pick up movement a little bit better, a little bit sharper, and really, really good. But to say this is completely 3D printed, it is extremely cool. Will the mask drop to bits after 5 games? No, we've been playing with this for a little bit, testing it out, making sure that we were offering what we deemed as a decent product. So it is 3D printed, so is it going to take bumps and scratches and everything like that? Yes, absolutely. It's just going to get a bit war-torn, but it's not going to break or anything like that. It is extremely well made, with all the electronics routing through the top of it into different parts. Yeah, I mean, it is a sight to behold, isn't it? I mean, look at it next to me. I mean, it's an absolute beast of a helmet. It's really, really cool. And again, once you finish, you can pop your head open, pretend to be Master Chief, and kill some aliens. But very, very cool. Cool if you like it. But these are available. These are available. So that is everything we'll cover today. I'll throw that on the table behind me, so I'm not going to drop it because it is quite heavy. But once it's on your head, it should be fine. As always, guys, it's great to talk to you. May Madness is still on, so if you hit that red button at the top of the website, it'll drop you to the May Madness. We will be adding new bits all throughout next week until the end of the week when it ends. So yeah, if you're looking for a deal, jump on there. Just be aware, a lot of people have been asking with May Madness, if you're waiting for something to drop in there, but you're not too bothered about it being discount or anything, there's something on the website you're looking at and you want. If you bought it now, and for whatever reason it ends up in May Madness, give us a call and we can refund you the difference as well. We do a price promise on the May Madness. But if that's everything, I think we've covered an absolute chunk there. It's really good to talk to you. I can see just a couple of final questions about the helmet. This thing is rocking around the 200 mark, so it is a heckin' chunk, but there is a lot of helmet here with the fan system, the comms, the mesh, the electronics. There is a lot of helmet there, so that's why that is. And I can see one final question before we leave. We try to cover it every single time, but when will the store reopen? As always, what we've been saying is, whilst there are any COVID restrictions in place, we don't feel it's safe to reopen the shop, because as soon as anyone touches anything, we've got to clean it, and we can't really restrict people coming in and out as we see fit. So we are 100% online at the moment. All the stock is online, absolutely everything's online, and we're always available to answer any questions via the media request email or on Instagram. Drop us a message and we're more than happy to talk to you, making sure you're getting all the right information all the right time. But if that is everything, been really good to talk to everyone. Been a much longer one. I mean, the L85 always done that. Every time we do the L85, hundreds of people jump on. But it's what we like to do, and we do like talking to you. So we hope you enjoy the weekend. Hope you can get out and play now. People are allowed. But if that's everything, we'll catch you again Monday, 4 p.m. For another standard live stream product review. Until then, I'll see you in a bit. Bye.